Hello friends, my name's Emile and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. Today we're continuing on with our Let's Play. This is episode 95 and in today's episode we're going to be doing the final of the Nationals, which is the German Nationals. For that of course we need some German cars and luckily I've got some stowed away in my garage. Our first vehicle for today is going to be a Mark IV Golf again. This is the V6 Golf however with some huge alloys in Jazz Blue. There is a little bit of upgrading on this. I think there's some slight weight reduction and some slight power increases, but other than that, this Golf is basically stock. So let's head into the German racing, all of which are on Deep Forest Raceway. 216 horsepower is the limit for the first race. Luckily, our Golf is just under that, so let's get into that first race. Okay, our first race is at Deep Forest, as all the races are going to be. And our little Golf, a Mark IV, is here at the starting line. Speaking of cars at the starting line, we have a BMW 5 Series by the looks of it, a Volkswagen Beetle, I'm assuming that's the Opel Astra, apparently it's a Vauxhall Astra, so they can just switch teams whenever they want. There is a Golf of some description and an Audi A3, I'm going to hazard a guess because I think the S3 is a little bit too powerful to get into this particular form of racing. Anyways, the Golf V6, why did I go with this over any other German car? Well, the original plan was to use a Mercedes A-Class for this racing, just because I wanted to use something completely different. However, in the end, I went for the Golf because I kind of like the V6 Golf. I'm not sure which one I prefer between the 2.3 V5 Golf or the 2.8 V6 Golf, both of which are pretty damn cool cars, both of which are pretty damn rare as well, because no one really bought these two models of Golf. And that being said, however, the V6 is probably one of my favourite small car, I guess you could say, engines of all time. I love the 2.8 VR6, I love the fact that they put it in the Golf GTI Mark III, they also put it in the Mark IV Golf, which I didn't actually know until this game. They also put it in a few other vehicles. It was in the Corrado. I believe they made a one-off Beetle with a 2.8, or they could have made a selection of Beetles with a 2.8, not too sure on that one. But yeah, this engine was pretty damn cool. As far as power is concerned, 172 horsepower isn't too bad. Admittedly, these days for like a 2.8 V6 to be producing only 160 horsepower, it's pretty cack. However, back then, it was a decent amount of power. The real issue with this vehicle, with this engine, sorry, is that it was just a little bit too heavy. And while they may have upgraded it to 3.2 litres for the Audi TT 3.2 Quattro and the Golf R32, which the Golf R32 was the final car the VR6 was ever in. After that, it was replaced by what's currently available in the Golf R, which is a 2-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder unit. And while sure it's more fuel efficient, and more powerful, it's just not the same. I mean, a V6 is awesome. At least it is over here. I know in America V6s are a lot more common. However, over here in England, a V6 engine is a little bit of a rarity. So it's always nice to see one of those. Anyways, to be fair, we haven't really been challenged a ridiculous amount in this race. I thought that S3 or A3 or whatever the hell it is was getting pretty close at first. However, by the looks of it, it hasn't really got the grunt to keep up with my Golf in the long run. Through there, we can take it fully flat out, which is kind of crazy for this vehicle. And we are across the line with a pretty decent time actually, a 128.168 for this car isn't particularly bad. The A3 came in second, Volkswagen New Beetle in third, Vauxhall Astra in fourth, still don't know why the Vauxhall showed up, BMW 528i in fifth, and the 2.3, oh it was a 2.3 V5 apparently, which is the one I used in the one make races. However, he came stone dead last. So anyways, we get 4,000 credits, and now we're going to head back to the garage and get our second car of the day for the second race. Okay, let's head back to the garage and get that second car going. Our second car for today is going to be a BMW 740 Injection. The official car of bankers, according to regular car reviews. This one has Full weight reduction, I believe. Yep, full weight reduction, even though it still weighs almost 2 tons, sport muffler, and racing mediums on it. So there you go, that's in case you're wondering. I would show that for all the cars, however, for most of the cars I don't really need to, considering that they're basically stock. Anyways, let's head into the second race. Once again, it's the Deep Forest. Okay, we are on track for the second round of the German Nationals. And as you can see, there are several relatively I wouldn't call them mediocre, but average German sports vehicles. SLK 230, there's an Audi S3, there is a BMW 328 Ci, I assume? Yeah, oh wait, no, it's a 328i. Surprising considering 528i showed up in the last race. A Mercedes CLK 320 Sport, and at the front I believe that is another SLK, or it could be a TT. Kind of looks like an SLK though. Let's get close to it and see what it is. It is indeed a Mercedes SLK. So hopefully he'll have the decency to get out of my way in a second, considering I've just killed his brethren. That's back there in last place. I don't get why or how it orders the vehicles in this game. It just seems to do them completely at random, even if like there's two people in exactly the same vehicles, they don't get placed together. So, admittedly though, our BMW is at a little bit of a disadvantage. While we may have 120 more horsepower than he does, we do have an awful lot more weight than he does. Again, this thing weighs 1800 kilograms with full stage 3 weight reduction. There's no race mod for this vehicle, as you'd probably expect. So, yeah, there's no real way to get the weight down in this vehicle, which is a bit of a shame considering how much this bloody thing weighs. It weighs an awful lot. Ooh, there we go. Through there, kind of understeer off into a wall, which isn't particularly the smartest thing to do, but there you go. We're also being passed now, so I do actually have to brake for that last corner, as it would appear. Alright, let's brake into here. As everything goes past me because I cannot corner at all. Admittedly, I maybe should have gone for racing softs on this thing so it could handle a little bit better, because it really is struggling with that weight. And then again, it is rear-wheel drive, so the weight should be relatively balanced across all 4 axles. I can imagine this vehicle is more front-heavy than rear, but then again, the rear, I don't know, actually, the rear could weigh quite a bit. You gotta remember, it is a 4-litre V8. Strangely enough, it doesn't actually give you the 750, which was the slightly quicker. That was the 12-cylinder. In the same respect that you don't actually get the 750i for, the 5-litre, or was it 6-litre? I can't even remember. The V12 for the 8 series, you can only get the 4-litre V8, which is, I've always found that a little bit strange when it came to this game, but there you go. Anyways, it looks like we're going to be on for a victory, provided I remember to break through this next corner. As much as I don't want to, every fibre of your being is like, don't break through there, like in the Golf, but you really have to in this, because the weight just, it's an all-consuming factor of this vehicle for certain. Anyways, it doesn't really matter because we're across the line, although admittedly not much quicker than we were in the Golf. Anyways, the SLKs came in second and third, CLK in fourth, Audi S3 in fifth, and the 328i came in sixth. So the BMWs secure the most valuable of the positions. We get 5,000 credits for competing in that race, thank you, and I'll see you guys in a second for the final race. Okay, so there we go. Now let's go ahead and head into the final race of the German Championship. For the final race of the German Championship, and indeed the Nationals, I have a bright yellow Audi S4 with an awful lot of power. This thing can have over 600 horsepower if you tune it correctly. It's ridiculously quick. However, we can't have that much power because this race is limited to 443 horsepower only. However, I do think we should stand a good chance of winning this one. Okay, we are here for the final race of the German Nationals, and the competition doesn't look particularly strong. Yes, there may be 2 roofs in this event, however, there is also a BMW 840 Ci, which will be very heavy, an Audi TT, which apparently is ridiculously quick, even though it really shouldn't be, And I believe that is another Audi S4 in this event. However, bye-bye roofs, bye-bye TT, and hello Mr. Audi S4. Let us do a duel. Who will be crowned the best Audi S4 in the land? Probably me, because I've got much more power than you and much more turning grip than you, apparently. Also, this thing does not weigh as much as you'd expect it to. It's only 1,300 kilograms. Admittedly, I do think I've done some weight reduction to it. However, compared to that behemoth, nah, I'm not even going to try and say that word. Behemoth, there you go, of a BMW that I just had out, yeah, this thing is bloody light. Yeah, not a bad car by the looks of it at the moment. Definitely handles better than the 7 Series. Admittedly, the 7 Series carried a hell of a lot more weight around with it. But there you go. Anyways, it's a pretty cool car, none of the less. Anyways, let's break into here. Getting very, very slideways with this vehicle. As you'd probably expect from a 300 odd horsepower 4-wheel drive saloon car, which is just being thrown around the track. Can we take this flat out? No, we cannot. Okay, so we're going to have to brake like we had to with the BMW. The Golf's probably the best handling vehicle of the day. However, this is definitely the quickest in a straight line, I would say. Although, admittedly, it's not all that ridiculously quick. Anyway, what sort of roof is that? Is that a... I assume that's one of the more base roofs. The yellow one is the basiest roof you can get in the game. I believe that one's called like the I can't remember the name of it. It's like the CTF2 or something like that. It's only got about 300-ish horsepower. Although, that being said, if a Yellowbird has shown up, a Yellowbird could have quite easily ruined my day because a Yellowbird is very, very quick. And unfortunately, unlike in, say, Forza, where you can actually tell when a Yellowbird shows up, because a Yellowbird has a lot more, well, it's basically bright yellow. On this game, the Yellowbird comes in many different colours. So, yeah, and by the way, the roofs, like, do have a ridiculous amount of colours available for them. They're pretty insane when it comes to their colour palette. However, by the looks of it, I am going to be beaten by the roofs. No! No, my big saloon car! Have a spin out or something, that's what most people in roofs do. Also, he's going to be a lot quicker than I am through this final corner, unless I can do a cheeky corner cut and use him as a thing. I can, but I don't know how much longer I can hang on for. And they do have the advantage in a straight line, but nevertheless, I am the winner, even with a cheeky little overtake there. Don't really think that was all legal, don't really care. Anyways, oh, it was 2 BTR2s. Anyways, they came in second, third, Audi S4 in fourth, Audi TT in fifth, and the 840 Ci got affected by its weight issues. However, there we go, and that is that race completed. We get 7,000 credits, which is fantastic. And let's head back to the main menu now. So, there we go, and that is the final race of the German Nationals done, and that is indeed all of the Nationals completed. In the next episode, we're going to be going into the International Regional Championships. I'm going to be starting with the European League, so join me for that. Anyways, friends, I want to thank you all very much for watching. My name's been The Real Emile, and actually, before we go, I will quickly show off the game status. We are now 96.8% of the way through the game. Not too much longer to go now. So there we go. Anyways, friends, I want to thank you all very much for watching. My name's been The Real Emile, and until next time, farewell.